Hello/x/demon room Anon here. I thought it would be fun to share another one of my strange encounters with the paranormal since the last story I shared was well received. Luckily this time I won't have to rely on second-hand memories from my folks because this one is very recent. Be me 22 and out on the streets with my two brothers. We will call one Lego and Art. To not reveal too much, we usually just go out on the town, nowhere in particular, just driving, listening to music. Typical Texan Dust Bowl town kinda shit. We sometimes drive for 30 minutes, sometimes the entire night. This was one of our entire night drives. We were driving down toward one of the Walmarts in town since Lego began saying he was very thirsty and wanted some soda. Art and I decided that a drink would be a good idea since the power of suggestion and all that jazz. As we finish up shopping for our drinks, I suddenly get this overwhelming feeling to go to our local lake. I don't particularly care for the lake in our town, but this time I just couldn't shake the feeling of going. Keep in mind at this point it was close to 2 a.m. and the only way into the lake was a semi-secret road that goes into the back lot of the lake past the security guards. Lego and Art are both perplexed by my sudden infatuation with the lake, but we've done dumber things before, so we decide that it's a fine enough idea. Get to the lake and drive into the back road, and we park near the water. Our lake is not exactly a sight to behold, but on this night it was glowing radiantly, not literally, but something made me feel almost attached to it. Once as the night goes on, Lego and Art begin talking about video games, cracking jokes and drinking the sodas we bought, but for some odd reason I could not shake the feeling that the lake needed me there, or maybe not so much the lake, but something strong, yet melancholy. Suddenly this rush of emotions came to me, almost like a weird mix of sympathy and somber, not enough to make someone cry, but enough to make you feel like you just lost something important. I start asking the guys if they also feel it. For context, Lego and Art both know about my history with the paranormal and have had some history themselves with it. Both shake their heads and look at me with a puzzled look. Lego begins to ask, "Are you okay, dude? I mean, it's kinda late, so maybe you're just tired." "Yeah, maybe we should go home," Art began to mumble. Art is not a very loud talker, so many of his statements sound like quiet whispers or mumbles. "I don't think I should go just yet," I said to them both. "Something is just keeping me here, and I don't think it wants us to leave." As soon as those words leave my mouth it gets cold, freezing cold. Keep in mind this is the middle of summer, is southern Texas, not exactly known for our cold fronts. This drop in temperature caught all of us off guard, and we started wondering just what exactly happened. As we begin to start packing up into the car for warmth, Lego says, "Huh?" "No." Art and I both looked at him, and I said we didn't say anything. Lego looks at us weirdly and says he heard someone ask him if he has a jacket, and it sounded a lot like Art. At this point I knew we probably shouldn't have stayed, but being stupid college kids we did. And not only did we stay, we got out of the car again. Now the temperature has begun to drop even more, hits what felt like 60 to 50 degrees. To us Texans that's pretty cold. I do the dumb ghost show thing where I ask, "Is someone there?" No response. No shit. I tell Art that maybe it is time to go. The feeling of needing to stay had finally subsided, and I was able to think rationally. As Art begins to turn the ignition, we suddenly all at the same time hear, "Please don't leave again." I can actually feel my fucking back tense up just remembering how it sounded. It was so calming in tone, but anyone with 2 brain cells could tell that it was anything but benevolent. Yet this feeling wasn't malicious, it wasn't demonic, it wasn't full of rage, it was just sorrow, pure fucking depression. The voice said a few more things, I can barely remember them, but what I do remember is that every time it said something without fail I truly felt more and more miserable. Art and Lego felt the exact same way, and we all voiced our concern. Lego was the first one to truly say anything. "Hey, you guys feel shitty? Like sad?" "Yeah," Art said with almost a whimper. "I feel it too," trying my damnest to not let the shakiness in my voice bleed through. After about 4 minutes the voice stopped, but Art just stared out. "Hey, you okay, dude?" I asked him, snapping my fingers in his face. He didn't blink, didn't talk, hell it didn't even look like he was fucking breathing. "Hey, Art, you here with us, man? We have to be with her, she's really sad, man." "What? Lego asked, almost irritated. Before we could ask any more questions, the car started to move, not because of any spooky skeletons, not because of spirits, because Art was slowly driving us into the lake. I kept yelling at the top of my voice, Art, you're driving forward, you fucking idiot. Hey. But it's like he wasn't there anymore. Lego tried slapping him, which wasn't very effective. From the back seat I tried to honk the horn in vain to see if that would startle him back to reality. Nothing worked. Here we are in this car driving towards the fucking lake. Finally Lego and I just went for a Hail Mary and got out of the car. We opened the driver's seat door and yanked Art off the seat. Art is not a strong guy. He is a very skinny and lanky dude, never able to lift more than say 20 pounds or 9.1 kilos for you Eurofolk, but he had the gripping strength of a gorilla. This night took Lego and I everything we had to rip him out of the car. Luckily we were able to in the end, and Art is still with us today. Can't say the same for his poor car though, lost in the lake forever. After we gathered ourselves, we still had to wonder what's going on with Art. His eyes are still glazed over and he's mumbling something to himself. I've asked him after the fact, but he doesn't remember himself what he was mumbling. All it seemed he could focus on was that damn lake. So finally, as any sensible person does, I grabbed my tiny Bible my mom used to make me carry. It was one of those pocket-sized mini Bibles you find at the Dollar Tree. Of course, me thinking he's Mr. Ghostbuster decided to try and exorcise the spirit. I run to the lake and start yelling all the crap I heard on TV. Power of Christ compels you. You are not welcome in this realm. Pass on to the next life. That kinda crap. I did all this in hopes that whatever was out there didn't decide to just swallow my soul. After what seemed like an hour, probably 10 minutes, the cold feeling started to go away. Temperature felt normal, wind felt normal, felt like another Texas summer night. Art finally snapped out of his trance and went into another set of mind. Anger. His car is now in the lake. After we explained what had happened to him, he seemingly was able to calm down just enough to not try to kill us intentionally. We all sat down and drank our last soda, almost feeling like we just won some big battle. Didn't take us long before we started making jokes about the entire situation. Call it a coping mechanism, as we now realized we had to walk home. This was before Uber really became a thing in our city. We all decided to just stay at the tourist trap hotel for the night. As we laid up in the hotel for the night, we began speaking about what exactly happened. As expected, we didn't exactly know how to make heads or tails of it, as we were starting to just say fuck it and go to bed. Art finally spoke up. Hey, I still haven't told you guys what I saw, right? The room got eerily quiet enough to hear a fly breathe. No, go on dude, what did you see? What made what he began saying more poignant is that he had begun speaking louder than I had ever had him speak. Not yelling, mind you, but normal volume for a human being. It's not so much what I saw, it was more who. And who was it? Lego asked my mom. Art said. To give context, Art's mom had died a number of years ago at that lake due to apparent heart failure. Art never really showed how shaken up that made him, but you could tell that it wasn't something he easily forgot. He continued. She kept telling me how she was lonely, that she missed me and wanted me to go with her. She even said I could take you guys, but when she saw you with your Bible and yelling, she just cried and faded away. As he finished telling his story, all I could think about was if that was really his mom out there, or if he for some reason finally got hit with the realization his mother was gone. Since then I couldn't help but think, was that a demon? Was it a spirit trying to lure him to his death? Was it just him finally breaking down about his mother, or was that really his mom? This is one of those times I'm not sure if I'd be happier with this being truly paranormal or being a trick of the mind. Either outcome sounding just as depressing. We still talk about that day here and there, but we tend to move off the topic rather quickly. I wouldn't say it's as traumatic as the demon room story, but it sure is a woeful memory. Hope you enjoyed reading Anon's. I'll be sure to share more stories if you like this one. I got plenty points.